Alright everyone, welcome to Coop's Cardboard Corner YouTube channel. Today we're going to take a look at Topps cards through the 1950s. We're going to rank them and tell you a little bit about the history of each set. So, Topps had started producing Topps Magic cards, Magic photos in the late 40s for a multitude of sports. They're very small, about the size of a postage stamp, and they're pretty crudely made. The idea was that you would put water on them and it would reveal an image. But Topps' first foray into mainstream baseball cards was 1951. They came out in two series. There was a red back, which is what we have here. And then there's another series that has a blue back, which is a little tougher. I don't have an example laying around, but it's basically same design on the front, but the back here is just, this is all blue. So they were, like I said, they were issued in panels, so you could actually see that if you look hard, there is some perforation lines here. This is a Jim Hegan example. It's a small set, 52 cards for the red, and there's one variation, a team variation, making a master set at 53. So that's the 1951 Topps. Much smaller. It's the size of a 1950 Bowman, and it's a relatively small set. The next year is probably the most popular Topps set of all time, and that would be 1952. 1952 is a much larger card size. They're in direct competition with Bowman at this time, and so they figure by making the cards bigger, that they'll be able to outsell Bowman. So this set is issued in multiple series. The first series is 1 through 88, and those have both a red back like this one, and then a black back, where this box here would have been a black variation. The most desirable series is the last series, the high number series, which starts at number 311. And 311, ironically, is Mickey Mantle's first Topps card. It's not his rookie card, but it's by far his most valuable card. A 9.5, SGC 9.5 just sold for over $10 million. So 1952 is an extremely popular set. It's got lots of Hall of Famers. The rookies include Eddie Mathews, Billy Martin, Hoyt Wilhelm. The high number series has the Wilhelm and the Mathews are in the high number series, along with stars like Jackie Robinson and Mickey Mantle. This I've always thought was a really interesting card. So Gus Zernial had 6 hits in a game, and this is a really neat example. You can see the balls are attached to the bat there to talk about his wonderful day. So 53 Topps. 53 Topps keeps the same size as the 52 Topps, and like the 52 Topps, this is a artist rendition of a photo. So they basically gave an artist a photo and said, turn this into a colorized piece of art. The 53 set is smaller in number than the 52 set, but it is the same size in terms of dimensions. They're condition sensitive. These bottom borders here all are prone to chipping. So having an example in a 6 or higher is extremely desirable. No big rookies in the 53 set, which is going to change. We're going to see the 54 set is going to have a lot of rookies in it. It's extremely desirable and high grade. The Mantle and the Mays sell very, very well. Outside of that, commons can be tough. There is a high number series. The high number series is a little tougher. But I typically, in terms of when I sell, I typically don't see a lot of demand for 53 Topps unless it's a star. So that's 53. And the back is, I do love the artwork on the back of the 50s. And into the 60s. We'll get into the 60s probably next week. 1954 Topps. So this is a Ernie Banks rookie, and he is also in the set with Hank Aaron and Al Kaline, our Hall of Fame rookies in 1954. 54 Topps. I have a couple more examples here, actually. And so they don't all have this white on white. So most of these cards have borders, and it's hard to tell on the Banks because it's a white background with white borders. The backs are full bleed green on the bottom and then a white on the top. So to give you an idea of what some other ones would look like, this is a Hank Aaron rookie, and this has been autographed. But you can see it's an orange background with the white borders. Once again, same size as the 52 and 53s. The set is smaller in number. I love the picture-in-picture. I think that's really great. I really do enjoy it a lot. It's the first time where Topps has really kind of started to show... I mean, they're all beautiful in their own right when it comes to art, but in my opinion, it's the first time, and here's Teddy Ballgame, that classic follow-through black and white image with the splendid splinter up front. I love how they use foreground here and background. It adds depth to the cards as opposed to 53 where they're all just kind of headshots and they're all up close like that. So I do really enjoy the 54 set, and I think they are pretty. They're probably not my favorite, and we're going to get to those. I will rank them eventually, but going right along, 55 is kind of the same thing. We have a foreground and background picture. We have a team logo in the corner. The biggest difference here is that the 55 set is the first Topps set to go horizontal. So the high numbers in this set can be tricky, and it includes rookies of Harmon Killebrew, Sandy Koufax, and Roberto Clemente. This is an extremely popular set. I guess I'll show you the back. The backs aren't as well done, in my opinion, as the 54s, but we still have the Topps cartoon, which is really great. This is a low-grade Koufax example, but it's still a classic card. So 55, I really enjoy, and if you like 55, you're probably going to love 56 because it's the same, and I would say that this is, when I do finally rank these, this is my number one set for the 50s. It's an absolutely gorgeous set. You get full color. You've got a really organized front with the text box. And some of like the Aparicio here doesn't have a lot going on in the background. There's might leave something to be desired because it's just kind of a sky background. But this 56 Topps Mickey Mantle, you got a lot going on, right? He's going to make a catch into the grandstands, and to me, this is the perfect card. These are just absolutely wonderful. They're works of art. They stick with the horizontal format. Not as much of a series difference here in price. The high numbers don't really command a bigger number than the low numbers. So this to me is my number one. My number two is followed by the next year, which is 57. 57 is the first year that Topps went away from artist renditions and actually went with actual photos that were taken. It's also the first time that we see Topps issue cards in the standard card-sized format that we know today. It is a relatively tough set. It's loaded with rookies. Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, Jim Bunning. Trying to think of other Hall of Famers. Bill Mazeroski. And then it's got a bunch of other Tony Kubek, Bobby Richardson, Rocky Colavito types. And it's got two mantles. Not all the cards are horizontal. This is just a horizontal example. This is probably in my top 10 favorite cards of all time. I love this card. Ever since I was young, I've wanted a decent example, and I did pick it up at a 5 a couple years ago. And to me, I love the ads in the background. You know, this is the first time, like I said, it's the first time they use photos, so you really get to see parts of the ballpark. The grass is just a beautiful green in all of the ballpark shots, and I really, really enjoy 57 Topps. 58 Topps. Not even in a holder. So 58 sticks with a photo, but there's not a lot going on in the background other than bright colors. We're still on the standard size. 58s we're officially, I believe the whole set we're back to vertical. I don't believe there's any horizontal examples in 58. Orlando Cepeda is the only Hall of Fame rookie, but it does have the Roger Maris rookie, which is a very popular card. They have different colors, backgrounds that are blue, backgrounds that are red. This Billy Moran has a yellow background, and the back, the cartoon takes up a good portion of the back. Of course, you've got bios and all of their statistics on the bottom for the prior year and career. And the last 50s top set, 59 Topps. This is my Gib rookie, which has seen better days. Gibson's one of my favorite players of all time, so this eventually will work its way into a low-grade SGC holder. 59s, we've done a little more with design now. This one is back to an artist rendition because Gibson hadn't really pitched that much. He wasn't really around in the majors, so we go back to an artist rendition. We have player in a circle, team logo on the bottom corner, name and player name up top. The back, this is from the high series. The low series, the numbers are in green. They're not in black like the high series. The high series does have a little more value. Once again, we have the cartoon, we have the bio, and we have some statistics. So Gib, one of my favorite cards. So I said I would rank these from my favorite to least favorite for the decade. So let's go ahead and do that. I've already kind of guiltily said that 1956 is my favorite, which is followed very closely by 1957. I love both sets. I've built a couple 57 sets in my life, and they're not easy, but I do love them. The 54 set would be next. And like I said, we had a couple examples on that one. I do like it's funny, if you like 56, 55 is probably a really close second for you, which there's something, I don't really like the horizontal. I love the horizontal in 56. The horizontal in 55, it's okay. 54 would be my next favorite set. So it would go, if you're keeping track at home, it would go 56, 57, 54. Then we're going to move to 53. While the star power isn't there, I think that the way team logos and this bottom panel and some of the artist renditions are just absolutely wonderful. I really do like them. And there's a whole crowd out there asking, when is the 52s coming? I'm not a big fan of 52s. 55 would be my next favorite behind 53. Just because of the iconicness of it, I guess the 52 top set should be put in higher regard. In my opinion, in most lists, it would be. In my list, I'm not a huge fan. I don't like the little text box with the stars around it. I think it's kind of hokey, to be completely honest. But you would find this much higher on most collectors' lists. I love 51. It's a small set. The player names aren't great, but there's something about it. Their first foray into baseball. And I think that the design is actually really clean. It reminds me of even like a 1930s, 40s design, which I really enjoy. So I do like the 51 top set. 59 would be next. I'm not a huge fan. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of the last two sets. But 59s to me, if they're clean, they're nice. I know people that love the set, and I'm not putting those people down. It's just not my favorite. It's a bigger set. I love there is a version where this is black, like the Frank Robinson, and it's a gorgeous card. If I could handpick certain cards out of the set, there are cards I love. There are cards that I don't love so much. Also, the one thing that I'll knock Topps on both the 59 and the 58s, and 58's obviously my last set, is that the paper stock this is actually a really nice clean example. The paper stock for 58 and 59 is rather terrible. And it shows wear and tear so much. And to find really nice examples, it's tough. 58, 59, they get dingy and the corners break down a little more. It's a little flimsier paper stock than anything that came before it. And that's probably one of the big reasons that I'm not, just because I deal with so much volume of them. They're tough to find in high grade. In high grade, they're beautiful. But, well, that's my list. So probably not gonna make everybody happy with that, but I just thought I'd show a little smattering of the 1950s Topps baseball cards. We're gonna try to do 1948 to 1955 Bowman, and then we'll move on to do some 1960s. We'll do the 1960s Topps. When we're done with the baseball tour from 1948, actually, we'll probably do a pre-war segment too. So when we're done with the baseball tour, we'll go back and we'll start a football tour, and we'll look at football cards through the decades just like we're doing baseball. Thanks for watching.